There's...
My, you're still alive! Way to beat the odds, Wanderer. This wall could really do with a lick of paint. Blood gets so ugly when it dries. Burned, ruptured, trampled. To think I could have made a fortune selling all of these to a whimsical taxidermist. Want with all this bone. Make a chandelier, most like. And a very ostentatious one it will be. I spy 2 little eyes, all smashed to bits against the wood. Pity that. Is that one of them lovely Baywater belts? Oh, no, false alarm. Just a few yards of intestine. Now I missed my nose. Must smell like delicious spit roast round here. My, how did a spleen get lodged in here? I don't mess around with these immaculate. You're still alive! Way to beat the odds, Wanderer! Burned, ruptured, trampled. To think I could have made a fortune selling all of these to a whimsical taxidermist. You're still alive! Way to beat the odds, Wanderer! don't go round angering Immaculates if you want to keep your vitals intact. Though perhaps it won't be very long before they have a stab at one another's vitals instead. I have the feeling there's trouble brewing between the orcs and the humans in there, and who can blame them really? Just ain't natural for 'em to consort, I say. Only good orc. Well, you know how the phrase goes.
Protect me!
Make a chandelier, most like. And a very ostentatious one it'll be. This wall could really do with a lick of paint. That gets so ugly when it dries. Finger. Just what that deviant Minorc was looking for.
Source Hunter, welcome, welcome.
There's still meat on those bones. Must have been the miller's boy. Muscles strong as marble he had.
Ah, yes, that was a small fib on my part, I'm afraid. Zandalore is known as the Keeper of the Source, after all. And I didn't know how Source Hunters would react to my association with such a colorful character. I'm watching on with weary eyes how the Immaculates strike again. They've gone from shedding blood among their own to recruiting orcs and cutthroats to do it for them. From what I can tell, the village of Hunter's Edge is this cult's most wretched victim. It was once a quiet sort of village. Families and small-time merchants mostly. Recently, it was targeted by a tribe of orcs waving the Immaculate banner. Their leader, Grutilda, is known far and wide for her cruelty and cunning. She oversaw the murder of countless villagers and used their blood to fuel a great number of bloodstones. Once they were dead, they were reanimated as undead corpses and sent to work in the mines of Lacula. By order of Leandra, the orcs were joined by a tribe of humans from the northern peaks of Tanneroth. A band of male warriors are they, and they devote allegiance to their leader, Jarl. Jarl arrived with his own formidable supply of bloodstones, which means his tribe has been operating under directions from the conduit for some time. Where once they ransacked for base pleasure and material gain, now they do it by the will of the goddess. These are far from the blindly devoted Immaculates of Silverglen, however. The orcs and the humans here alternate between bitter fighting and hostile peace. Personally, I believe they're best exploited through their rivalry. Get them to fight each other, and you can stand on the sidelines and warm yourself upon the flames. He has a residence at the far end of town. Though I have my doubts he's having people over for tea now that the Immaculates have landed. Know that Zandalore is wily, so beware. If a wizard doesn't want you in his home, you'll know it. Pity the intruder that heedlessly tries to waltz his way into that dwelling. Nevertheless, his house is the very place you'll want to search. The accumulated knowledge stored there is quite phenomenal, and beyond a doubt one of Leandra's most urgent pursuits.
Deviant Minorc was looking for.
Feeling lucky! I feel like I've just had a long bath in a cold lake.
You call to Ulgraf.
It seems we've already harvested the last of the ripe barley. It seems we've already harvested the last of the ripe barley. It seems we've already harvested. It seems we've already harvested the last of the ripe barley.
Ho home.
A fine stroke of luck.
Ulgraf wants you to take a closer look at something. Could something of interest be buried hereabouts?
It never rains, but it pours, eh?
Dancing dugongs, you nearly startled me out of my boots. Well, you've got my attention, comrade.
You there, Flatlander. Stay at your business. I suppose any one of us within these walls can trust a believer in the goddess's way. And boy, are you in for a treat. We've given this town a real immaculate treatment, I tell you.
It's heating up.
If you're looking for the leaders around here, you've got two to choose from. Jarl, the chief of We of the Mountain, and Gratilda, the Gnashing Oak's she-devil. I'd tell you to enjoy your stay, but I don't think you're here for the fun of it.
Toasty! I thought my luck had run out.
It never rains, but it pours, eh?
I feel like I've just had a long bath in a cold lake.
Then why not stand up and face me, boy? One on
Comrade, did you hear that? It sounds like these Immaculates are at odds with the local orc savages. We may be able to turn this to our advantage. I'll keep a sharp eye out for anything we could use to nudge these factions closer to chaos. If we can get them to destroy each other, we'll kill two birds without even having to pick up a stone. Nothing would please me more than seeing Hunter's Edge cleared of the scum that destroyed it. I may not be able to undo the past, but together, we can dole out justice for those who've suffered.
Gorag doesn't look so fearsome without his second horn. And to think, it was a human who managed to snap it clean off.
ain't afraid of a single frog-skin one of you. Then why not stand up and face me, boy? One on one.
They're keeping the peace for now. Chief's orders. That other tusk's yours to keep in the meantime.
That's so. Y'all can't stand the thought of his old tribe getting ripped to shreds, can he? Poor fellow. Living in...
They say humans and orcs don't get along, but I've seen a pair as thick as a troll's toe hair.
Is that what you call those thimbles on your toesies?
Many rats scurry in and out of this hole. Where it leads is uncertain.
I'm warm as fresh apple pie.
What? Afraid to address your betters, are you?
I ain't afraid of a single frog-skin one of you.
Then why not stand up and face me, boy? One on one.
They're keeping the peace for now. Chief's orders. That other tusk's yours to keep in the meantime.
That's so. Y'all can't stand the thought of his old tribe getting ripped to shreds, can he? Living in fear.
You go on then, frog-skin. We'll see who'll end up beneath those boots.
Is that what you call those things?
A fine stroke of luck!
What? Afraid to address your betters, are you?
I ain't afraid of a single frog-skin one of you.
Then why not stand up and face me, boy? One.
They're keeping the peace for now. Chief's orders. That other tusk's yours to keep in the meantime.
My kingdom for a dry shirt.
Go on then, frog-skin. We'll see who'll end up beneath those boots.
Is that what you call those thimbles on your toesies? What? Afraid to address your betters, are you?
I ain't afraid of a single frog-skin one of you.
Then why not stand up and face me, boy? Once I split a human so clean it off, only thing that stay firm as apples in his gut. Never gone body the kid. That's so. Y'all can't stand the thought of his old tribe getting ripped to shreds, can you? Poor fellow. Living in fear under the great
Go on then, frog-skin. We'll see who'll end up beneath those boots.
Is that what you call those thimbles on your toesies?
was really hoping to...
Blood brothers of Yarl!
Kill
Stuck in
what
this
slime
awful
comes out of
big
your mouth,
dump.
human.
I swear,
Your
I'll
mother's
start
not
taking
one to
eggs if we don't
tolerate
get out of
unless-
here soon. Conduit orders or no.
Gratilda the Great. She is the
Spirits of shadow,
You're
conceal
about
me!
to her even. Careful what slime comes out of your mouth, human. Your mother's not one to tolerate a mess. Careful what slime comes. Blasted mosquitoes. Never a moment's peace with these filthy vermin buzzing in me. Oh, oh, brother, I've crossed me pests. 'Tweren't a tiny winged bloodsucker whining at me, but a tiny footed one. Brother, I think the human's asking me a question. Think I ought to tell the tiny pest who I am? Ought I tell her I lost this horn in a scuffle with another ickle human? Maybe it was this one's brother. That pesky bugger might have got me on, but I've got something too. His wee head.
You don't look like the rest of the Immaculates that passed through here. Which tribe did you say you were from?
Human, even the name sounds diseased. Can't come to work today, boss. I've got the human, and it's itching like that. It's all mother, I'm saying. The human's the one.
What
Once
dare
I
you?
split a human so clean in half, all his innards stayed firm as apples in his gut. Ever gone bobbing for kidneys?
It's all mother, I'm saying. The humans the one talking.
That's right.
Big ugly brute making me do his dirty work. I bet his skull would make a lovely goblet for Jarl's mead.
Am I gazing at the whole...
Well, well, well. Thought you could get away with it, did ya? Don't look so confused, Pinky. The armory key. Hand it over. Painting my toenails pale lilac, of course. What does it look like, you ape? I'm hunting for a missing key. I'm the All Mother's right hand. If there's something she needs done by someone she knows can do it, I'm the one she calls. This little keyhole deal, don't change that. It's small, metal, fits in a keyhole. Help us look or shove off, will ya? I've got to find the key before the old mother finds out it's missing. Or she'll carve a spear at me right tusk.
Dunn's probably lost the bloody thing up his own arse.
So the key to the armory is missing. It could prove rather worth our time to find it.
Source hunter, scavenger hunter.
I haven't got a
For
hole in
better
my
or
pocket,
worse,
have I?
our resumes are growing.
One side. I ain't got time for chatting till I find the damn thing. What does that matter? Quit buzzing in my ear before I squash you like we did the rest of the pests in this blasted place. You'd be too if you'd misplaced something of Gratilda's. I once saw her skin her own foot soldier alive for mispronouncing All Mother. And he'd only done it after she'd knocked his teeth out for sneezing in her presence.
It's all mother, I'm saying. The humans
What's all this about your manhood, small bones? I'd like to hear more.
What's worse is, the coward's blaming his troubles on me, only because I happened to be passing by when he noticed his armory key was missing. I'd tell him to piss off and be on my way, but he threatened to tell Gratilda it's me who stole it. Somehow, I doubt I'll get to tell my side of things before my head was shorn clear off. Not a damn thing in all the 12 hills of hell. This idiot orc has no idea where he's lost the damn thing. So he's taken to blaming me, a passerby. It's just like an orc to save his own skin by flaying someone else.
Look in every cranny now! Your mother won't like to hear a human's been thieving from an orc.
You know damn well I wouldn't touch anything of yours with a 10-handed pole.
So it was Johnston that came and fishes just as you were horsing through here. Your mother won't believe it for a moment. I haven't got a hole in my pocket, have I? It's all mother, I'll say. The humans the one.
And you've got to do the same.
Dunn's probably lost the bloody thing up his own arse.
Soaked to the skin.
Bloody key.
Much, my luck had run out.
I say you're so stupid. Squatting over the
Am I gazing at the hordes of souls, or am I wrong altogether? Look here! Look at you! How I admire one whose head is lodged so firmly upon their shoulders, like a spire that rests upon the breadth of its foundations, one and indivisible. Not I, alas. I fare not so, for I may replace my battered cranium as jauntily as a wizard may his hat. Just consider some of these examples here before me. How I admire this one's kingly brow, that one's exquisite jaw, yonder one's deep-set sockets that held a warrior's eyes. Why make a permanent choice? Why not cater to the occasion as called for? I would, but for the question, where does the soul reside? And so I ask, where are you? O ephemeral soul, if in a tooth you may be pulled, if in an arm you may be broken, where are you, O delicate monstrosity? As have we all. Townsfolk would sit on these benches and talk about their day. Children would sprinkle water at one another and snigger. Now their mouths neither talk nor snigger any longer. And all that is sprinkled about is blood. Days pass me by no longer, only the dreams of what was, but can never be again. Surely you jest when you question this question's importance. Say I opt for that there fair-featured sovereign of a skull. What happens if another soul lies therein sequestered? If I play the part of the aforementioned wizard, and swap its rugged lineaments for the feeble ones that are my own, who shall I become? I, yes. Who is I, then? Were I sure that the soul houses within the chest, within one's little toe, for all I care, I would fret not so. But the certainty I long for remains as impossible to find as one specific raindrop in the rain. You, oh, I beg of you, have you not the answer?
You needn't worry. Unlike our heads and our bodies, it is we and our souls that are one and indivisible.
Claptrap! He has become an unnatural shadow of his former self. He shouldn't seek for his soul. He should seek to end his dreadful existence instead.
It stands to reason he still has a soul if he still has a personality, doesn't it?
You'd be doing a good deed by forcing him to renounce undeadness. So why don't you?
No, we'll do as I say, and there's an end to it.
But of course, why was I so blind? The soul is not of the body, it is of the spirit. A new skull I shall have, but same person I'll remain. Oh, the agony of choice. I think I'll opt for the one with the kingly brow.
Wargraf smiles as he looks on, while the skeleton cherry-picks the perfect new skull. A friendly pat on the back tells you he approves of your kindly reassuring a dead man is soul safe.
With an axe.
Blech. Watching a talking skull choose a head is like watching a dog do a backwards crab walk.
What's this then? Who in the hells are you? And where am I? These aren't my bones. I was made of sterner stuff, make no mistake. Switched skulls? What do you want about, you loon? This is intolerable. I used to be an important man round these parts, you know. I demand respect. The mayor I was and the mayor I am still. Now leave me be, for I've important municipal matters to attend to.
Switching skulls did make him swap souls after all.
On the bright side, we seem to have answered one of the world's oldest questions.
Never at your service. What can I do for you, citizen? We've hit a bit of a rough patch, I'm afraid. Immigration's a real head-scratcher these days. Now, I don't discriminate against orcs, of course, but they are rather rowdy fellows with some very peculiar habits. And then there's the rate of crime. Shot up terribly recently, what with the mass slaughter that took place. You'd think that kind of thing only happens in the big city. But no, we have our fair share of urban problems here in Hunter's Edge. Busy days, but don't you worry. Mayor Burton's on the ball. Mayor Burton, at your service. We've hit a bit of a rough, and then the busy days.
Hello again. Do you bring good news? Jinxica is my name, and until recently I lived a placid sort of life among the people of Hunter's Edge. The baker might leave me a bit of milk left over from this breakfast. The barkeep stroked my back between filling glasses. I had many friends here, but none so dear as a little trio. A married pair and their daughter, employed by the wizard to keep his home. They spent many long hours squashing fleas that plagued me and shared their warm beds with me each night. If you come to this village to help and not to harm, you might be able to save those 3 kind souls from the orcs that have invaded. Ugh, such misery in our sad town. A kind but private man he is. He set up his home here several years ago, but never remained there long enough before jetting off to tend to some matter or other. The Dark Invaders seem very interested in him indeed. They've been skulking around outside the house since they arrived, but not even one of their filthy vermin can penetrate the wizard's protective enchantments. Would that an invasion were all! They destroyed every crumb of life they could find and sent their filthy rats to seek out those who evaded them. Each life they took infused their strange stones with power. Their queen glowed with delight as a parade of victims were slain before her. It was as though she was taking in a beautiful song. The human tribe came shortly after. They had their own supply of the glowing stones, and the orc queen took no easy liking to them. Still, it seems they are working towards some similar goal. They haven't destroyed one another. Yet. They've survived this carnage so far by concealing themselves most cleverly. I've done my best to guard their hiding place from the slime-bellied rats attempting to sniff them out. But I fear my efforts aren't enough. Until the village has been rid of vermin, Those 3 sweet souls may be found at any time. Savages by savages employed. The orcs have one among them. The rat catcher, they call him, who claims to have trained rats to do his bidding. They've swarmed the place in search of hidden villagers, and unless every last one of them is split from tail to snout, they're sure to find my friends. But you're not like the brutes inside those walls. No. You approached me with hand, not boot, outstretched. Perhaps you could help me. With these rats running about, it's only a matter of time before my friends are caught. They must be squashed, every last one of them. I've done my best so far, but there are simply too many for one set of claws to handle. With your help, though, with your help, it could be done. The rats gone, my friends safe.
Ugh, I'm dripping.
I am truly fortunate.
Wargraf spotted something.
This boulder looks strange. Unreal, even.
Blessed talisman, protect me.
Who are you? Stay away from my family. They know nothing of the wizard. Take me. A source hunter? Lodian, the gods have answered our prayers. I can think of no more welcome deliverer from this predicament than one of your esteemed order. 7 bless us, and you too. Aye, we 3 laboured under Zandalor's employ. He was right decent to us, and it's thanks to him we managed to escape the brutes upstairs. Zandalor prepared this hidden place long ago. It's almost as though he knew, somehow, that this day would come. Or perhaps he knew only that the forces of evil would always pursue those of goodness and light. Many years ago, he told us that if ever we found ourselves in danger, we should flee to this cellar. Shut fast its door, he said, and mark the jam with a chalk pentangle. This will call forth the magic I have assigned for your protection. It seems our friend was true to his word. Zandalor is a brilliant man, even among wizards. Why he chose to settle in this sleepy little town, I can't say. But then again, he never did remain for long. Always dashing off to attend to some matter or other, our wizard. We cared for his home while he was away, and attended to him when he was in. We were quite fond of him, and I do believe he was rather fond of us too. It seems that when we triggered this cellar's defenses, he knew straight away. Within a minute or so, a strange orb of light appeared before us. It grew sharper and sharper about the edges. I held out my hands to grasp it, and it fell, heavy as a pearl, in my hands. From the orb came Zandalor's voice, clear and strong, as though he were standing just before me. His voice was hurried, strained in a way I'd never heard before. Something unthinkable, that he was travelling through the Phantom Forest, that heart of horrors, and into the ancient Source Temple that rests within its cursed depths. He told us to wait for the White Witch, asked us to deliver a message, something important by the sound of it. We wrote it down, word for word, and will pass it along whenever it is she comes. I know little more than its name implies, but if a Temple of Source does indeed rest within that blighted forest, a greater evil I cannot imagine. Many is the year since ghoul or beast has ventured out of the defiled sanctuary of those woods, yet still we of the village dare not enter. Legend says that to set a single foot into the Phantom Forest is to invite death's grasp. It's a legend none wish to test. As you may know, this town was founded as the last bulwark against the Source monstrosities that reside within that terrible place. After the fall of Brachus Rex, the defeated darkness retreated to those woods, and haunted they have remained ever since. Blessing! Zandalor has the same. I'd recognize it anywhere. So the White Witch sent you, did she? I should have known she'd not sit idly by while the world turned topsy-turvy. Zandalor's message is as such. He's gone to the Source Temple in the Phantom Forest, and he wants her, or I suppose you, her messengers, to follow him there. In order to enter the forest, you'll need an amulet. He stored it in a small chest near his personal waypoint. Once you're inside the forest, you'll need to find the Forest Spirit. This spirit will give you the rune you need to enter the Source Temple. But first things first. If you want to get inside Zandalor's house, you'll need to use the portal in this very room. I've the crystal you need in order to activate it. Still, entering the house will be the least of your worries. Zandalor himself has called forth every manner of protection to discourage would-be intruders, and you will have to defeat them all in order to reach the bedroom. Now, the last thing he said doesn't make much sense to an outsider. Perhaps you or the witch will manage to make better sense of it. He said, and I quote, "She is coming. I only hope I can reach the temple first. If she finds the portal..." He didn't finish after that. Before you go, perhaps we might impose on you, well, a favor, you see. Source Hunter, we need a way out of this place. It's only a matter of time before the savages upstairs find us, and trying to leave through the village is as good as suicide. But Zandalor has his own means of travel, a waypoint shrine in his own chambers reserved for his personal use. If we could only get there, we'd be able to flee this place lickety-split! The only trouble is what I've already mentioned. The wizard's house is rigged from top to bottom. If you'll be disabling its defenses, we'll slip through without problem. Good luck, Source Hunter, and unimaginable thanks from me and mine. Where am I? Is this real? I feel as though I've been living in a dream. I was bathing myself, as I've done a million times over, when suddenly a curious sensation came over me, as if my mind were no longer mine. I saw, but I did not see. I was as one possessed.
Make yourself at home for the present. We haven't much to offer, but my wife can tell you plenty about the wizard. He's a good and decent man, our Zanderlaw. Without him, we'd have been ripped apart and tossed aside by the marauders outside this cellar. My wife can tell you more, if it's more you wish to know.
Our friend, how can we help you? Not much to see here, I'm afraid, but you're welcome to take a look around.
careful, comrade. I think...
Sweet relief!
Soaked to the skin!
You call to Ulgraf.
Rainfall!
Back on my feet again. On the mend! What just happened?
Scroll of Revelation. There must be something of some value hidden here.
Demon's breath! I've been paralyzed!
It doesn't seem to work here.
Shield me! I'm powerless to protect myself!
Does anybody else smell smoke?
Shield me. I am powerless to protect myself.
A little help here!
What's this? It looks strange.
Anybody else smell smoke?
The Seven. Call me home.
Sweet relief! Sweet relief! Tornado!
Blessed talisman, protect me!
God, I'm drenched!
It doesn't seem to work here.
Stroke of luck.
Treasure, treasure on the ground. Who's the grandest dame in town? I suppose if you're titillated by the brutalization of our beloved language, Nadia's the proper choice for you. Unfortunately, you've chosen wrong for any soul with half an ounce of sense. Treasure, treasure on the ground. Who's the grandest dame in town? What a horn-loving dog you are! I won't hear such nonsense. No, indeed, an orc isn't really a dame in any case, is it? Treasure, treasure on the ground. Who's the grandest dame in town? That carnivorous farmhand? I certainly think not. Treasure, treasure on the ground. Who's the grandest dame in town? What a horn-love... Treasure, treasure, what a horn... Treasure, treasure, what a horn... Treasure, treasure, that... Treasure, treasure, that con... Treasure, treasure, that...
Down! Back on my feet again!
I feel better already.
It doesn't seem to work here.
My legs!
What just happened? I feel like I've been set in stone.
Bless the seven, I am restored! Into the fray once more.
Sweet relief!
Some call it luck, others call it skill.
Sweet relief!
Now this is bad. This Dugon.
evil from my blood. I've been struck by lightning! A stitch in time, eh, my friends?
I needed that.
I can't feel my legs!
As good as a new penny.
I feel like I've been set in stone. I've been struck by lightning!
It doesn't seem to work here. It doesn't seem to work here.
I feel better already!
Sweet relief! It doesn't seem to work here. It doesn't seem to work here. doesn't seem to work here. It doesn't seem to work here. It doesn't seem to work here. Doesn't seem to work here. It doesn't seem to work here. A stitch in time, eh, my friends? Bless the seven, I am restored! It doesn't seem to work here.
Into the fray once more!
I'm drenched!
Blessed talisman, protect me!
I'd never have judged a few grimy ground dwellers, and lost ones at that, to be worth all this fuss.
Chief knows what he knows. He says, find the cellar, so that's what we do.
Well, for all he knows, they could be knee-deep in forest muck miles away from here.
The forest? So that settles it. You really are big a buffoon as you look. No one gets into the Phantom Forest, brother. No one.
And the cost
Some call it luck, others call it skill.
That thick brain of yours is better suited for gruel than for thinking. Of course she's there. She's got the goddess within her. Come on, then. We've got a cellar to find. Your chatter won't scare it into the open, you know. Ain't there something behind here?
Rubbish. I ain't a bleeding maid. Feel anything strange underfoot? The orcs insist there's a cellar here, but we haven't found so much as a hole for squatting.
The orcs tore through this
Someone
place
got
like...
the brilliant inkling that the missing villagers are hiding in a secret cellar. This was their home, but there's no sign of anything more than orcish garbage here. The wizard servants they were, and the great queen goon of the orcs thinks they'll know how to get inside the wizard's house. Even if they don't, I suppose she hopes to cut them down, same as the rest of their kin.
Is this one of them fancy scribble pages? Never did trust them myself.
Hey.
By the wings of Freyo Fuldawn, I bet my left ear there ain't no cellar here. You there! Any cellars popping out the woodwork in your watch?
There's nothing to find in this bleeding dump. Where can a gaggle of scared...
Ain't there something behind here?
I am truly fortunate.
orcs tore through this place like wild pigs.
Plates and rubbish. I ain't a bleeding maid. Hey, you already
The
checked
thing
beneath
won't
these
budge.
boards?
Then again, I thought the same about that village's kneecaps.
There's
Soaked
nothing
to the
to
skin!
find in this
Fancy
bleeding
scribble pages.
dump.
Never did trust them myself.
My stars shine brightly today.
Now for the clock. 2 o'clock. 8 o'clock. Finally, Jack of Hearts.
Fine. I'll open with 5 big ones.
Going to call that hand.
To this time, some apples. Cold.
Say, what's a Zandalore anyhow?
The 7 smile upon me.
It's all mother. Does probably lost the money. You don't ask.
Stay out of the top floor of the tavern, unless you want to get your eyes poked out. I've seen the bloke up there do terrible things with a butter knife.
The dog looks up at you with misery-ridden eyes. Its tail doesn't wag, and when it tries to bark or speak, only silence reaches your ears. The dog hangs its head, then looks north. Filled with fury, it barks noiselessly in the direction of the forest.
With frantic, jerky motions, Walgraf writes the following message. Sorcery silenced this poor dog's tongue. We must go north and find the bastard that did this. Perhaps he can undo it. Perhaps he knows a cure. For himself. For me. An intense passion burns in Walgraf's eyes. To find the dread silencer. To make him reverse his incantations. It is but a dream. But what if there is truth in it?
I haven't got a hole in my pocket, have I?
Dog's probably lost something of his own
Yeah, I
arse.
guess dog is custom for the dip.
Someone's there.
Are you daft?
You call to Walgraf. He awaits your query.
Potent heat!
What? Get to looking or step off, Flatlander.
You?
I prefer to drown my sorrows with ale.
You smell
Keep what up, it's no surprise a dainty thing like you can't handle a bit of it. You must be itching to lose your fingers if you dare disturb my camp, human.
What are you playing at, tall skin? Watch how you address us, you betters. You did hear how Onless Gorag got his name after all.
Big ugly brute making me do his dirty work. I bet he's stolen thing a lovely goblet from Jarl's me. Bloody key. Who could trust a stupid old like something like that? I say you're so stupid, King. Your pocket squashing under the train.
Yeah, piss off then. Go and gab amongst yourselves like a pair of chickens, why don't ya? I can ask the same of you, small bones. I don't go stopping up to you in a ballet class demanding to know which pirouette you're doing next, do I? What? That's disgusting. A tiny pink-fleshed human and an orc like myself? Why, I've got eyes for the great Gratilda alone.
Uli, we can't hide forever.
Hide what? You think this stranger knows anything about the two of us, Ulfric? I tell you now, that twerp don't know a thing.
Enough, Uli. Enough. Surely this stranger has no reason to put us in harm's way. We're all sworn immaculates here, are we not? There are certain secrets that perhaps we, beneath the goddess's eye, may share in good faith.
Well, first thing you have to understand, we orcs aren't made to love it all. Nah, we're born devoted to our queen, and to her we turn all our attentions. To seek fulfillment outside the queen's graces, well, it's a treason committed only once in a red moon among we orcs. And the penalties, a terrible death. When we first took the village, I couldn't tell Ulfric apart from the rest of the pink little ants scurrying about. A human was a human, as far as I was concerned.
Would make a lovely goblet for Jarl's mead.
I haven't got a hole in my pocket, have I? It's all my humans.
Dunn's probably lost the bloody thing up his own arse. Thought you said it was me who pocketed it.
How in the second am I supposed to know what you did with it, dear thing? I haven't got a hole in my pocket, have I? I haven't got a hole in my pocket, have I?
Dunn's probably lost the bloody thing up his own arse.
As for me, Ulor stood out right away. The curve of his horns, his regal bearing. It was fascinating. I'd never seen an orc as anything but an enemy, but suddenly I couldn't keep my eyes off this great green brute. I suppose my staring was rather conspicuous.
You suppose? Oh, I thought you were aiming to slit my throat the way you were watching me.
I couldn't help myself. It was almost supernatural. But when Ulor marched over to me, club in hand, to address my strange behaviour, something happened.
Love at first sight, if you can believe it. I came over aiming for a fight, but all I found in Ulfric's eyes was, well, whatever it was, it hasn't left me since.
Please, if you've any mind for sparing two fellows a terrible fate, you'll swear to keep our secret to yourself. We've committed no sin greater than experiencing a love as sweet and pure as any. But if we were discovered, it would mean certain death for us both.
We swear it indeed. We'll not see anyone harmed for daring to love.
We cannot swear an allegiance to a pair of sneaks.
It's all mother, I'll say. The humans talking.
Dunn's probably lost.
We've no use for such information, and Ulor and Ulfric might prove worthy allies.
Aren't we to keep every possible bargaining chip we come across in this hostile place?
No, we'll do as I say.
Oh, friend.
Your words are a great relief to my beloved and I. I can't explain how or why we found these feelings, but there's one thing I know for certain. We are no traitors, and our service to the cause remains true. Your discretion is worth its weight in gold. Goddess bless you. Wargraf grins broadly upon having heard your decision and gives you a thumbs up. Saving love from heartbreak and loss, that's what it's like to be a hero.
A man and an orc comrade? You can bet Mother Nature's kicking herself in the sit-down over this mess.
Dunce probably lost the bloody thing up his own arse.